Hi, this is Lucia with The Art of Love. I'm a dating and relationship expert specializing in helping you get your ex back. If you haven't been able to get your ex back and you've lost hope that it will ever happen, then this video is for you. It's time to bring in the big guns. What are the big guns? Law of attraction, of course. Now, you may have listened to my other video about how to manifest a text from your ex, and many people had success with it, and that's wonderful, but I know you want more than just to manifest a text, because manifesting a text doesn't always lead to getting your ex back. You want to actually get your ex back. So I want to show you why law of attraction is so powerful and give you hope that you can get your ex back. But before I do that, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any future videos. And while you're at it, tap the bell icon so you'll be notified when a new video is up. So I want to tell you a very inspirational story. You may have recently watched the women's final of the US Open. I don't usually watch tennis. I'm not really a big tennis fan, and I had never fully watched the US Open women's final. However, I found myself in Canada when it was going on, and one of the finalists was Canadian, 19-year-old Bianca Andreescu. And so when I heard that she was going up against Serena Williams, I thought, wow, this is going to be an interesting match. I got to watch it. And I did. And what do you know? She won. Now, some people may say, well, it was just a fluke, or Serena Williams was having an off date. Nope, that's not what happened. Her win was set in motion years ago, and kept alive as a reality until it happened. After her win, I listened to her interviews, and she said that she visualized her win, and she also said that at 15 she wrote herself a check in anticipation of winning the US Open. She held the vision as a new reality until it happened. And the crazy thing is that she didn't even qualify for the US Open in the last 2 years. So you would think that when she finally did qualify the third time trying, she probably wouldn't even make it to the finals. And if she did, she certainly wouldn't win. However, obviously that's not what happened, because that's not how law of attraction works. It involves quantum physics and allows you to make quantum leaps. That's why she was able to go from not even qualifying to winning against Serena Williams. So how does this apply to you? Well, if your ex is dating someone else, or they've blocked you everywhere, or they've moved thousands of miles away, it may look as though all is lost. But you too can make a quantum leap. You have to hold your vision as real no matter what is happening around you. That's the most difficult part of manifesting for most people. They see evidence to the contrary of what they want, and they lose hope. And I'm sure Bianca, when she didn't even qualify, that she too had a temporary loss of faith, but she obviously got past it and went on to win. You can't go by how things look now. You have to believe more in your vision than what is happening in front of you. And she also talked about staying in her bubble when they asked her what was the most difficult part of the game. And she actually said it was the crowd that was cheering her opponent. And so she tried to not let that faze her. She said she tried to stay in her bubble. In your bubble means that you stay focused on what you want and you don't pay attention to any evidence to the contrary. And it worked. So you have to put blinders on and not care what anyone says or what the current reality is. That's what she was talking about when she said stay in her bubble. Now, there are a lot of teachers that you can learn law of attraction from. There's, of course, Abraham Hicks, Neville Goddard, there's The Secret, Pam Grout, or Carol Duray. Those are my top 5. It's up to you to find the one that speaks to you in a way you understand. So choose one or take a look at them all and see which one you prefer. And when you've manifested your ex, I want to hear your success story. I'm not going to tell you how to do it because there's so many ways to do it. So you have to find the way that works for you. Neville Goddard is very popular because he has a simple way of doing it where you focus on the end result. And he tells a lot of stories where he manifested a lot of things, but the one that comes to mind is that he was in the army and he wanted to be released. He asked to be released and they said no. So he went back to his barracks and he said that every night as he fell asleep in his bunk, he instead imagined that he was at his home in New York, sleeping in his bed in New York, sleeping. And after about 2 weeks, they called him back into the office of the commanding officer, I guess, and they said, "So, do you still want to be discharged?" And he said, "Yes, sir, I do." And what do you know? They discharged him. That's all he had to do, was imagine that he had been discharged and he was now sleeping in his bed in New York. But as I said, check them all out and see which one works for you. And so if you're going through a difficult time and you feel like giving up and you feel like the situation is hopeless, I want you to remember Bianca Andreescu, who did not qualify for the US Open 2 years in a row. And in the third year, she won against maybe the best women's tennis player of all time, Serena Williams. So comment below if you plan to start using the law of attraction to get your ex back. In the meantime, if you'd like more help with this, you can contact me about private coaching and we can do a session and I can help you to get your ex back using the law of attraction. The direct link is below. That's theartoflove.net. If you're listening on YouTube, remember to like and subscribe. If you're listening on iTunes, I would appreciate if you would rate and review the podcast. And finally, remember that love inspires, empowers, uplifts, and enlightens.